What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Kels.
Hey, my name is Miguel Perez, just in case you forgot.
And we're here at the lovely Airplay studio, really driving and diving into everything good that we can.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're ready for this week's topic. And this week's topic is on Kelton. So I'm going to let you kick this one off, Kelton.
We're going to get into a little bit on the conspiracy theory side of things. I mean, I try to stay away from that because everybody looks at me like I'm crazy when I start talking this stuff. But let's just say we had a hearing go on.
Well, let's clarify this. This topic is going to be about...
No. This is watch.
All right.
I know how to lead this in perfectly.
Okay, let's
go.
So
we had a hearing about the government coming out basically blatantly saying that aliens exist.
Okay.
Like, full disclosure. I mean, they didn't... I don't think that they admitted to how they know and all that stuff, but I think that they finally got to a point where they just had to tell us that aliens exist because of what was going on. And I know Frank watched the whole thing apparently, so he'll have a little bit more information on that. But they came out and told us.
Okay,
aliens.
so you believe in aliens?
No.
Okay. I don't believe in aliens, but number two, what kind of strikes me a little odd is because if anybody doesn't trust the government, it is you, Kelton. So for you to say, hey, the government came out and said they're real, so what?
But the thing is like a long time ago, I always loved the idea of aliens. So like for the longest time, I was always like, I love the idea of aliens. Like I love that the existence of it, and I was always like going down the rabbit holes of aliens existing, and then I started realizing that I think they were setting us up. I really do. I think that there's a possibility that they were setting us up. They're trying to lie to us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust the government as far as I'm saying, hey, well, they're real. Now everybody has to believe it because they say they're real. Yeah. No, number one, that I just don't see that happening. Again, I based everything I live on the Word of God. And the Word of God doesn't talk about aliens, so I just don't see the purpose behind why would they exist and what would be their purpose, and all this time. Again, what would be the purpose of denying that they exist?
I think it
doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna go into the rabbit hole on this one, and it's gonna be fun.
Well, before we do that, can I give the audience just a little backup?
Yeah,
just
give us a brief description of what.
Go ahead. This is the subject that Frank really wants to be a part of.
Yeah, he's excited about this one.
Let's go.
So you'll hear from my mouth a little bit more on this one, perhaps. But I did watch this hearing. It was incredible. It was a historic moment for any of you that watched it. I hope you're aware of that. We had two very credible pilots and a very, very highly placed intelligence officer. These guys were on the panel, and they were sworn in and responded to the Congress's questions. It was pretty amazing. I served in the Navy. I know the caliber of people that we let fly our aircraft. That we put basically the reputation of our country. And these guys are out on the pointy end of the sword. They've got to make that decision, and we don't want a black eye. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but you guys appreciate our guys out there. Mm-hmm. So we had very, very credible witnesses. And what happened was that the gentleman in the middle of this panel, he was the highly placed intelligence officer. His name is David Grush. And he worked for a long time with these programs that were looking into trying to figure out the UFO question. Now they're called unidentified aerial phenomenon. They're UAPs. Mm-hmm. There's so many word changes these days that why do we do this? We can't even say hunger anymore. It's what is it, boys? It's food. Insecurity? No, they're hunger. Damn it! But anyway, back to topic. So. This was very poignant. This guy, after finding out all this information and finding out firsthand and talking to people that are actually involved in these programs, because he has the security level and the need to know. You got to have both to get this kind of information. You can have security clearance to the high end of nowhere, but if you don't have the need to know, established need to know, you're still denied the information. David Koresh, I'm not David Koresh. Grush had all this information. And at some point, his conscience told him, you know what, the American people should know this. And he went through the correct and very, very impressive correct channels. He actually went to the IG, the Inspector General of the people that run the intelligence program. And he basically, this guy knows his stuff. He's an intelligent guy, and he presented this guy with it and said, "Look, I'm going to speak. What's the right way to do this? What's the legal way to do this? How do I do this without being a traitor?" And he went through those formats, and he went through those, gyrations, and ended up with a hearing in Congress. Now, he couldn't disclose all he knows due to some of the classified information that would be involved with this. How do we know where a UFO crashes in another country? How do we know that, and how do we get there before they do? This is happening. This is going to be exposed. The pilots, when they were interviewed and asked, again, under no oath in Congress, there was video footage. I've seen gun camera footage.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked on gun cameras that developed this footage. I've worked on the systems in there. I worked on F-14s for a long time. F-18 shares a lot of the same technology. These are real gun camera footage that I saw, and nobody's going to tell me different. These are real episodes that happen. We've heard about a lot of them, but now the government is finally letting out some of this footage that they've got that they can declassify. The very pertinent information was from the year 2004. Basically what happened was they had a carrier group. The carrier group works up in advance to a carrier deployment. They get out there with the ships they're going to be working with that are doing radar picketing missions out around the carrier group to watch things. And they're getting their communications. They're learning how to work together, and it's imperative. So these guys are doing workups, and they're out there off the coast of I'm not sure if this was East Coast or West Coast, because there was two different video processes that they were showing. But basically, what this picket ship was picking up, they were picking up a bunch of individual craft that were descending from 80,000 feet to the surface in less than a second or two. Okay, now this is just out of this world, right? And so they've been seeing this, but anytime they could put aircraft up, that situation wasn't there. But now in this training exercise, it happened to be that they were launching to do an exercise. They started seeing this activity, and they vectored these guys over. They said, "No, screw the training. This is real world. We want you to check this out." So they fly over, and what they find when they get there is they find what they're calling a Tic Tac. It's a small pill-like looking vehicle. There's no form of propulsion. There's nothing sticking out. They describe it as a clear pill with a cube in the middle, and that's the best they could see. They got there. This pill was sitting over a portion of roiling water, is what they called it. Looked like the water was boiling, going crazy. When they got there, there was two of them. We always fly in a wingman situation where you've got a point guy and another person covering their six. So it was a male and a female pilot. The male pilot on this particular sortie was the skipper of the squadron, okay? And they're out there in FA-18s, and it's pretty capable aircraft. And so he sends her up aloft. "You monitor me. I'm going to go down and investigate this." As he's descending, the pill notices him, the Tic Tac, and he's descending in a spiral. The Tic Tac sees him and opposes him in a spiral while he's ascending. They get to a point where he gets behind it, trying to follow it for a little bit, and all of a sudden, it just shows this thing just shrinking to a bit. I mean, it goes off on speeds that couldn't, there's nothing we had that could do that. How to hover in space
I'm gonna
without
disagree
falling.
with that.
Well, I mean, we're capable of hyper.
So you're saying it's a spaceship, basically what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what was
still
shown.
remains to be seen. I'm almost finished. Anyway.
No, you're good.
So they've got that footage, and then they've got another footage where they've got this little pill that these two guys I think this is out in California at the time, but these guys are out and they see this this target or this bogey going across this just above the surface of the water at really pretty high speed, and they're having trouble lock on it with a TCS system. And I was there when they developed the TCS system, and I know what its capabilities are. So the thing was going so flipping fast that they had trouble locking up. But after trying 4 or 5 times, they finally got a lock on this thing. And to hear the pilot's audio and hear his wingman, they're like, "What the fuck is this?" I mean, you can imagine, because it's just like something they'd never seen. And then it just, without even disregard for nothing like we could do, it just plunges into the water at hypermach. I mean, it's crazy, That would kill
and it's
else.
gone.
So. What these pilots were trying to demonstrate, we've got the footage. We've been doing this a long time. We've been seeing this a long time. Let's stop playing games. Why don't we get to the bottom of this? So, again, a historic moment. I appreciate you letting me have the floor that long. I usually don't do this. But I wanted to make sure
you're
that
good.
everybody knew where we were. And now we can talk if we're talking about the hearing and what this brings up.
Well, the whole thing is, everything has a cause and effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, when somebody gets murdered, there's like, okay, what's the motive? There has to be a motive. There's no motive. If this person has no motive, this person didn't do it.
Right.
There has to be a purpose behind everything. So what would be the purpose of the government saying, hey, there is no aliens all these years if they really had them? What's the purpose behind not being honest about that? Which I don't believe in. Don't get me wrong. But my question is, why lie? Why say there's not if they were?
No, they've actually said stuff like that. So the first thing that I like. Okay, so like I said before, I used to actually love the idea of aliens.
It's intriguing. It really
so
is.
Deep. I would find out the craziest things. I would look into I loved anything alien related. I loved it. I was always trying to figure things out. I wanted to learn more about it, obviously. I was really trying to be in there and figure this out and see what's going on. I wanted to know. And so, yeah, I could see why they were lying from my past experience. They would lie not to let the public know for a reason, and that reason would be more on the lines of
what?
Keeping people from panicking. People are stupid. They're gonna do dumb things.
Well, what can they do though? I mean, if there's alien,
I got a question for you.
That's a very intriguing thing, alien treaty.
I got a question.
Hollywood. Hold on, let me finish this thought right quick before I lose it.
I got you. No, you're good.
Hollywood has presented this as being real and always presented them almost 90% of the time, other than E.T. as a negative. As a negative, visitor came to destroy Earth, wanted to do this, wanted to do that. Always in a negative aspect. You know what I'm saying?
It's always been like that since day one of aliens.
And they got all kinds of show like that. But again, it's a form of entertainment. And it's intriguing. It's like, oh, is it real? Is it real? Is it real? But there's no, again, what would be the purpose? What would be the meaning behind it?
I got you on that.
All right, go
ahead. When this whole time we have been programmed through the TV we watch, these people come out with these movies in our society to give us warning. They do these things, and then somehow they end up coming, and we're like, we were so normalized to it through watching movies. Now that we've all been through multiple, I wouldn't say centuries, decades, whatever, of constantly seeing movies where there was aliens involved. So now we became, oh, well, that's why nobody freaked out over this. They're like, they finally admitted it. Like, that's what they were thinking. They've normalized us and really got us into that motive of, okay, we're going to slowly build you into this, slowly get you to accept it. And now that we come out and say something like that, it's not that hard of a fall. Because they lied about it so long. But the reason why they lied about it is because if you would have just said, hey, we know there's aliens and we don't know how to defend ourselves from them. We don't know how to handle them. We don't even know what they are, what they look like. We just know that them things are flying around and they make us look stupid. And we're incapable of protecting ourselves from something that makes us look stupid. How would you feel if they came out and said something like that?
I wouldn't even have that opinion because it's not real.
Okay,
let's say
I'm not saying for
Hollywood
aliens
is normalizing this, but
I'm not saying.
I like the Spider-Man, Superman.
Hold on. You're going way too far to the next topic.
Okay, my understanding is what you're saying is. Go.
So,
but you got to let me rebuttal.
I know, but I'm going to clarify this a little bit easier because you're just saying, well, no, because I don't agree.
No, I'm not saying that.
What I'm saying is, think about it. If say Russia, for instance, Russia had this capability, and there's a possibility that Russia doesn't like us, and they want to, take us out. And the government came out and said, dude, they would demolish us. We have no idea how to keep up. There's no way we're going to compete. How would that make you feel?
I don't know.
It would concern you, and a lot of people would freak the fuck out.
I'd be like, bottom line, we're still the strongest military thing out there. I mean, I would challenge that thought.
No. See, that's where you're still going way over here with that. If the government, our government, the ones that you believe we're the strongest,
which I
we're
think
not,
we are.
by the way, just so you know, we are the strongest in your mind, and they came out and told you we can't compete. We're basically ants in an anthill, and the boys got the magnifying glass. It will make us look stupid. Like we can't do anything about it.
Okay, so
if the government came out and said that, would that not concern you and raise your fear level?
Well, of course. Because
that's why they didn't do it about aliens. That's why they slowly brought us out.
You're talking of things that are tangible. You can see aircraft, you can see military being built up on all like that. That's tangible stuff.
But that's why I'm saying.
But aliens?
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it like I am. Because you're talking about a society. You ask why they lied about it. That's right. That's the answer. If you come out and say, hey.
So you're saying that's the answer.
I think that would be the reason as to why they would lie.
You think this might be a reason. There's a difference between this is the answer and I think this might be the reason.
No, it's what makes the most sense.
Okay, so it's
more opinionated.
Okay, yes. Opinionated. Okay, that's what we can't say it's fact when it's not fact.
I didn't say it was fact.
Well, you just said this is why.
This is that. I don't think I said this is why.
Yes, if I did,
I apologize.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. This is our opinion. Okay,
all right. That's why it was my opinion the whole time, and it wasn't like a.
Okay, that's
let me offer another one.
That would make the most sense, and that would be there's a lot of like things inside of that story that would actually make sense.
So in other words, hey, we're gonna this is the way we're gonna present it because if we told them the truth, they're gonna be afraid, which I don't think that's plausible.
They're gonna freak out.
There's a lot of stuff they put out there that make people nervous, but they still put it out there because this is the real world. So say, hey, this is happening, we can't tell the people because they'll freak out. I mean, they've done it many times over.
One person,
I really think that
good,
was part of it, some of it, but I think there's more of it that. We have these recovered alien, not of our origin, okay? I'm not going to say extraterrestrial yet because that's where not where my mind is. It's alien to us. It's unidentified. It's unknown, okay? I'd like to keep it there for a minute before I speculate what the hell it is. I do have an opinion what the hell it is, and I know Kelton does, but... I think the main reason for the secrecy that was pretty much through because the first recovery was in the 30s, fellas. So now there's been recoveries that's happened since then, and they've wanted to keep that a secret. I think, and that's you can. I guess it's an arguable point to say it was a national security issue. We have these things. We're desperately trying to reverse engineer these things. So
we already know how to make them.
So that we can, imbalance.
We live in Texas. A couple of hours down the road from Roswell, where supposedly an alien landing took place. And their whole city is based on that alien landing.
Yeah,
you know what
if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't have Jack.
Yeah, really. Yeah, they really.
We probably wouldn't even know what Roswell
I apologize
is.
to those there in in Roswell, and my wife and I do intend to visit and dump some money.
Well, I have a friend
I would love to go to
Roswell. I have a friend that went out there, and he's like, it's absolutely nothing. It's like just a little hill and it has a dip in it, and I was like, that's it.
I'm still going to check that
Roswell. It's not. There's not much there.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so well, in that case, Canyon, a spaceship hit Canyon. That's why we got that big old hole in there. I mean, that's pretty much what they're doing over there.
Yeah, but you've got to think. If I'm not saying that I don't think that there was spacecrafts. I'm not saying that I don't think that there is no such thing as aliens in the means of what it's mostly perceived as. What I'm saying is that they are entities that are beyond our comprehension in this world, the unseen world, so to speak. There's also things that we know more about space that exists than we do our water.
Put it under urban legends. Fall under the same as the Loch Ness monster, who everybody talks about is real, and they got pictures and they got this. But has anybody ever found that big old creature? No. You know what I'm saying?
Let's look at something that's
Bigfoot.
driving this culture.
Witnesses say
Right.
I've seen it. I got a picture and it's always blurred, so does that. But has anybody ever caught that big creature? And if it was really that big of a deal, you think they would have gone in and really got it? It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
It's
they
a
tried.
urban
They never
legend.
found it.
Yeah, it's urban
There's
legend.
been
Same
several.
with the aliens. The only aliens I know is
think-
one that came from Mexico. That's the only alien
That's
I'm aware
messed
of. All right.
That's messed
I think
up.
one of the things that might be driving this culture change and a little bit more transparency, if that is what we're witnessing, I hope it is. But if we are witnessing, it's not due to altruism or anything like that, or any kind of bet. I think what's driving it is the cell phone culture. Everybody's got a camera now.
Yep.
How many times has the government been burnt saying one thing and everybody else's cell phone said another, and they got a friggin' black eye?
Yeah.
I think they're about tired of that. I would be in their position. So everybody, and we're seeing these things. We're seeing these phenomena. There's been all these of course, conspiracy theories and cover-ups and all that.
Mm-hmm.
We're quite sure now that the government is in denial about something, but what it really is, we still need to find out. But what I'm excited about is we're having that conversation now, and there is public grassroots push for some transparency in this. Let's get a global look at this. I always thought as a kid that once we found out for real, we're not alone, that all this petty tribalism shit would go away. We'd have to see ourselves as this little blue pebble in a monstrous universe that we're not alone in.
Yeah.
And all this petty stuff would go away, and here we are. I feel like we've been desensitized by the media.
Absolutely.
My buddy Kel's saying, sometimes it makes me wonder, well, are they prepping us for a much larger disclosure hey, it's really not us in charge? I don't want to go off on the deep end. What I really want to do is show that we don't know. These things are out there. Some people that I love and trust have seen them. I haven't, but that I know for a fact that if they said the sun wasn't rising tomorrow, I'd go ahead and pack my crap.
Yeah.
That credibility. And I know it's out there, and I really long to have a great discussion with Miguel on this, because I know he's a non-believer, and how do we meet these two in the middle in an intelligent way? Miguel, I'm sure you admit there's stuff out there we don't understand that we're seeing, right?
Yeah, they're phenomena.
What's your take?
But again, all right, media, I'm not going to trust media. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to trust the government. You know what I'm saying? These people just pass all kinds of laws that a little boy can decide he's a girl and the parents can't do nothing about it. And you think I'm going to take their word for stuff?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Slow.
They've never done government has never done anything truthfully helpful without raking some sort of benefit.
Yeah,
it's
so
always
that's
been about
size
being
an hour.
themselves.
Yeah, so there's a deal with like, okay, where's
hasn't.
the money in this at the bottom, the end thereof? Where's the money? What's the purpose?
I
You know
can
what I'm
tell
saying?
you what I think the purpose is. I don't think you're going to agree with it.
It's like, what's the purpose? Where's the money? And then if there is, okay, if they exist. Number one, we're in 2023. You figured by now it's easily be manifested. Like Frank says, the cameras and cell phones and everything's being caught there. There's no getting away with anything now. You know what I'm saying? And people are quick to pick the phones up as soon as they hear a noise.
recording. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mr. King, Mr. Floyd.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
just,
come on now. The truth is out there. There's police brutality. And yes, Martha, there's unexplained things in the sky. We should talk about them.
Absolutely. But what I think, man, y'all are going to get a hot take on this one. Oh, man. This is just my opinion, and I'm gonna leave it at that, because there's multiple things like Operation Fishbowl. You've got Operation or Project Bluebeam. Y'all looking at that, y'all make your own decision. But this is what I've seen. I think that they're going to utilize this idea of aliens existing to pull us back together. Like how you said, you wanted the world really does want to be unison. The world really does want to come together and live as a whole in a structure. And I think they're going to utilize the idea of aliens to put us underneath a one world order that they've been going towards this entire time. And I think that's their trump
well,
card.
that will happen because it's biblical. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
yes, but that's what I
do
think-
believe that's going to happen.
I think that's what it's going to be,
Is
though.
alien going to be the one that does it? I don't know.
I mean, it always talks about a great
Is
deception.
that the catalyst? I mean, I guess it could be, right?
See?
I mean,
It makes sense in a sense. It's not like I'm not far-fetching anything. I mean, that would be one thing that we would use as all countries to come together and fight a war
Look
against.
how we used
I think
9/11.
I think that would be.
And the thing
that's
is-
Hollywood right there. That's Independence Day all the way.
What do you think? What do
You know
you
what I'm saying?
think though? What do you think that that wouldn't happen if aliens did come out or whatever they want to call them come out?
That means they would have to come out by the millions and millions in
They-
order for
they
the
have-
world to say,
yeah, but
hey,
they
we
have
got
to-
to team up in order to take them out. It just, I cannot fathom that. I can't.
exactly.
I don't
but
think
that's why it's so believable because it's something that.
That's the opposite of I cannot fathom.
That's the reason. No. It really is. Think about it. That is a reason of it because if you think about it, you truly think about it. It's such a far-fetched thing that it's not the first time they've done something so far-fetched to get what they want.
Okay, I think. Well, again, it's not. Okay, we had that situation not too long ago, and everybody was commenting on it. It hit.
Which one?
It went viral about that one lady on the airplane. I'm pretty sure y'all seen it. Okay.
She was an actor. By the
Well,
way.
no, I saw something. She was an executive of a big company. You know what I'm saying? So she supposedly saw a guy shift change, whatever the case may be. So, other people had other videos that came out and said, no, it was actually, she was claiming that the stewardess was the one that, was chip chaining and it wasn't happening. Then she claimed the guy next to her, she had her iPads in her hand and then they were gone and he had them in her hand and like 1 second later and all this stuff. And this last week I saw an updated one where she's an executive of a company. She's a very important woman, a very powerful woman that her lawyers try to keep her name from going out of video, keep going, but that wasn't going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they never showed, out of all the things they showed,
It was all hearsay.
well,
essentially.
they never showed the one person she was claiming. Shift
Well, of
change.
course they're not. They don't.
So where, all that. Okay, when I saw it, I was like, oh, where's the person? I want to
Yeah.
see the person. Where they sitting down, standing. They never. Nobody did. This
Yeah.
is like, okay, here's another story. That,
I can see that
You understand
as
me?
being
You follow me?
problematic.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm not against you on the belief in aliens. So let's be
Okay.
Let's be clear. I don't believe there is such thing as aliens. And in reality, if there's any aliens on this planet, us human beings are the aliens. If you think about it actually think about it, because this whole ecosystem as a whole it works perfectly fine without us. As soon as you put us here, we took over and we're the ones damaging things. We're the ones creating problems as a human race. We're the one destroying our environment. So in reality, we're the aliens. But I do believe that, UFOs exist. I do believe in that stuff. It's just, I don't believe they're aliens.
You say UFO.
I don't think they're aliens like
exist,
outer space aliens.
Then, in essence, you're saying aliens exist, don't it?
'Cause
Let me turn you on to something.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I think part of you're a loyal guy. I know you for that. Part of your reticence to embrace this just a little bit more is your loyalty to the Word of God.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to draw your attention to John 10:16, and where he refers to other sheep, and those can only be other sheep outside of Israel and outside of the fold.
Mm-hmm.
There's been many interpretations of this in the Bible. I mean, from us, but it looks to me, and I've kind of looked at this as Jesus is talking about other sheep. In other words, we're not all that. We're not all that in a bag of chips. Yeah,
Yeah.
a bag of chips. We're loved, and I don't want to take any importance from us, but I think a humbling is on the horizon anyway. So we might as well start to adapt to the idea. And I do believe that there are other sheep. What's the use of this entire?
I'm familiar with.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm
here?
familiar with that scripture, but you got to remember, it just came to save the Jews. That was like that, and he considered any other nationality apart is the other sheep. So he's referring to other nationalities because he came for his people only, and then he opened up Jews and then Gentiles.
Yeah.
And it's referencing the Gentiles, we're referencing
Right.
other nationalities when he uses other sheep, not other. Not
Well,
other
there has
species.
been other interpretations,
You know.
like you've outlined.
Again,
That's
you have to do a complete exegesis on that. The scriptures before that. Who was he speaking to? Why was he saying what he was saying? John referred to Christ's kingship. So there's a lot there. You know what I mean?
Why have
Because you ask
Let
Jehovah's
me tell you
Witnesses,
of another-
they take that one other sheep and make it sound like a whole new other thing as well. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but it was interesting to me, and it made me think. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't believe. But again, I look at the large expanse. Of course, they launched a year ago, within a few days now.
Yeah.
They launched a new telescope, and for a long time we have from the Hubble theories and all that. We've long established, and it's almost become an axiom, that hell, the universe is 13.8 billion years old. Well, guess what, Martha? Now we're seeing past the Big Bang. What? Okay, we know the Big Bang happened then, but we see galaxies now older than that. We know how to redshift light. We know how to measure this stuff. It's accurate. We've sent people to all little different, not so many people, but probes
Cameras,
to very
yeah.
specific places in our solar system. We know this math, okay? And this math now is showing us galaxies that predate the Big Bang. So I really think we need to keep an open mind on this, okay? And I want, why would my God make such a huge thing that by theory we really can't touch because we can't go faster than the speed of light? None of us live for multi-billions of years. Why create this splendid wonder and us be the only thing? I just can't go there with you, buddy.
Well, that's
Yeah, I
what-
mean, to me, it's just splendid
I'll
wonder.
I'll give you that
because-
conversation we had a minute ago about what I believe. That solves your problem right there.
But what does it solve about the speed constant? What does it solve about c, the constant of light, that nothing can travel faster than the speed of light? Let me give you a wild
Let's just
one.
say this.
Oh,
Most of
wait a minute.
everything.
I had the mic. I can mute you. I'm going to finish this one. Consider this for a second, okay?
Don't block them off this time, is it?
Think about this. I know this is
He
wild
loves
ass
this
hair,
topic.
okay? But think about this for a minute. What if this is not really aliens? Okay?
That's what I think.
We know that time is the fourth dimension. We know that that dimensions are multiple and that they are alterable. And we know what we don't know, okay? We know that if I put you in orbit, okay, how you realize time and how time affects you is different from how it is on the surface of the
Yeah,
planet.
it's like the concept of
Because
going around a black hole.
You're
you-
a fraction of the speed of light. It's a minute
Yeah.
fraction. It's barely detectable, but time is different from you.
Yeah.
So if this is mathematical, how many things have we found that once we could lay it down to mathematics, we ended up getting in a boxing corner and we ended up figuring it out? I think that's eventually going to happen. But still, there is this constant that makes me believe that. And look at the situations when we see this spike in UFO sightings. They're around significant events at significant places a lot of times.
Like they do
I'm
they
gonna
get
stop
around
beating
nuclear
the bush.
plants all the
I'm
time.
going to stop beating around the bush. I think it's an evolved us coming back as tourists.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Okay,
Camera
I killed the camera
killer.
again. I had to spread my arms to make my point. I'm still Italian.
that is very possible. I believe that is possible, but I also think that maybe you're looking at it the wrong way. I think maybe, just maybe, those people are actually going into the future and we're in the future. Because if you think about it, there is a lot of things in the past, like it truly get into it. There's a lot of things in the past that is unexplainable because of how good the technology was. How far ahead of everyone else around them the technology was here, and they were still breaking stones with stones. I mean, you've got places that are cut up laser thin, perfect cuts, when we only know of them having the technology to have just basic, carving stuff. You've got laser clean cuts and like foundations and monuments and things like that, like pyramids. They still don't even want to admit what the pyramids really are. They're never going to, I don't think, anyways. But
they might not
they try
know.
to say they're no, we do know what it is, and if we start digging deep enough, we find out that they're like what Tesla did with the trying to put electricity in the air, and He was trying to make electricity go from basically over the sea.
Lineless.
Yes, that's what they did with the pyramids. They literally have so many a chemical process down there where it radiates energy, like free electricity. Basically, they had lights. They have literal depictions of light bulbs. Like that was unthought of even at that time. We have regressed as a society, and we have destroyed what we didn't understand. And
well, just explain to me the Nazca lines. That's enough right there to get me thinking. How the hell could you do the Nazca lines without an appropriate bird's eye view from, say, what, 10K? 10,000 feet?
Yeah, it's hard.
How could you draw those lines?
It's hard. But the thing is again, we go back to the same concept. If we're going to speak on aliens, most people think of a little green man or like a green Martian or a gray or the Anunnaki, stuff of that nature. But in reality, I don't think that there's really aliens in that form.
Let me tell you something else that was brought out in those hearings. So they're saying that they're finding human elements of the DNA. This is again our whistleblower, okay? Our highly placed intelligence guy.
Yeah.
And the people he's talked to, and he could only disclose their names and stuff like that in private session.
Mm-hmm.
But what they found in the biomatter, because they're saying that it's absolutely true that we have recovered alien technology.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying it's absolutely true we have recovered alien biology. And when DNA tested, there's a component of human DNA in that. And I just found this out within the last 2 weeks. But I've had this theory of visitors from our future. Us, as we evolve, we don't look like we did back, 20 million years ago. And I think in another million years, I don't think we're going to look like we do now.
Right.
And I've been
the concept of evolution.
I've had this thought since I was a teenager, because as a teenager I come to understand what we call the galactic sea. The light is the fastest thing in the universe. Nothing could travel faster. So we had to be limited by that. Proxima Centauri is still 4 light years or so away, and we're talking about 5 trillion miles or more per light year. I hope I'm not off, but I think I'm within 10%. But these are crazy distances. Even generation ships, they'd lose mission sight before you got there. Something else would take over. We're humans, for God's sake.
Yeah, they wouldn't even have the same training. They wouldn't even understand the world that we left.
So I've always understood, and perhaps wrongly, and I think maybe we'll break that, but I think that we can't travel past the speed of light. So I find it hard. I'm with Miguel here. I find it hard for these to believe in aliens. I think they're us, and I think they're us from the future, and I think they're freaking tourists. Because look at it. How many instances has there been where we've seen lots of situations? The freaking Russians have shot at them. We've shot at them. They've hovered over our missile silos and
shut them down. Shut them down.
This is documented.
They were shutting down nuclear facilities just because they can. There was one instance where this I forget where it was, but there was this. I'm sorry, I get excited about this stuff. But there was this nuclear power plant that they were getting online.
Yes.
And as soon as they turned it on, it had a bunch of alien activity, UFOs, and it would shut down the nuclear. And you know how hard it is to shut down a nuclear plant.
A spike in sightings on a historical event, perhaps.
Yeah, but you got to think about this. This is what's scary. The idea of these people being able to do what they're doing. They came in and shut down a nuclear facility. Shut it down. You know how hard it is to shut down nuclear power?
I'll back out. I'll let you take the floor again. But I guess the point I wanted to make was, folks, if they wanted to hurt us, they could.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just agree to that. We don't know what the frick they are, but if they wanted to hurt us, they could. If you can go,
Okay, but using the term they, who are you referring to? They.
whatever the
Us.
freak they are.
Okay, they is us in the future. That's what
See,
I'm
I
specifically saying.
don't-
Hey, I got a concept
So what?
for
You
you.
believe in who
I
else is
believe in
flying these
ashes to
things?
ashes, dust to dust. I believe it is appointed to once a man to die. There's no future us.
No, not you and me.
Okay,
Like
that's what
our
I'm saying.
Talking about the
civilization
future.
as humans.
I'm talking about people. Let's say 500 years, 1,000 years in the future. Us,
Yeah.
Our society progressing that far.
'Cause, I mean,
we
as soon
figure
as-
out that fourth dimension. We've already applied it to math. If it exists in math, it exists. Okay, I'm pretty sure of that shit. So, if we end up figuring that out, then we end up figuring out how to warp time. And that gives us time travel. And now that they're saying that these people that have biopsed these people, what they're saying aliens, the biomatter they found at these crash sites, these recovery sites, they're saying that there's
Human element
DNA.
to it.
Yeah,
It's basically
DNA.
human element. It's
So
just
this
not the exact
and
same.
like I say, I didn't find that out till just very recently, but I've always thought that due to the speed limit of the universe, I didn't think these people were coming from other stars.
I got a good place for you to think about it.
From our future. I think people
So
figure this out, and now they're coming
so
back.
you're saying that we, at one point or another, advanced so much that we're now coming back from the future?
We're visiting.
Yeah.
They're going back home, baby. They got their air conditioning back at their place, and they're happier with their shit.
You got to
I'm
think
sure.
we travel to other places inside the world. If you had the ability to go back in time and see events happen and explore how life was just in a certain time period, would you not want to do that?
I mean, think
Think
you
about
told
that. You really wouldn't
1880s
wanna do that?
cowboy.
It's an impossibility.
I do. I
you
agree
told-
with that.
If
But
you told a gold digger prospector in 1869 that in 100 years we're going to be walking on the moon,
exactly,
he'd have brayed like a donkey.
It would have been. It's something that, like, if it was possible, I mean, it would be something I would definitely do. I would love to go time travel. I would love to go see some stuff. I would want to know what really happened in places that they don't
Exactly.
tell
Why
you.
read in the book when you could go
time
back
travel
and see it?
is again time travel to me. Okay, this is in my opinion, guys. And agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. But time travel is just a Hollywood made up thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Think
cannot.
it-
it
I don't
cannot
think we're
happen.
capable of it.
Hollywood exploits it, but it's not a made up thing. It's really not. Time travel is provable. I'm telling you, if I go into low Earth orbit, my time is different from you. So when I come back,
So-
you have aged more than me.
If it exists, so who has that resource to do that then?
Well,
the
we
government.
have not developed the technology for it, but I'm telling you
You're
that it's already
assuming it's
been
gonna
reduced
be-
to mathematics.
Okay.
We can prove it mathematically.
So
we
you're
just
assuming that this
We're
is
just
something
saying-
that can take place.
It's
Let
like
me tell you
a
something. No,
theory
no,
of
no, not
relativity
assuming.
type of thing. It's a theory. It's something that we can
Theory, what you
we
can
can
do,
we can
theory.
put it
Theory's,
into we can put it
something that has-
into a
Okay.
program and it could work. We just aren't capable of the to complete the project, so to speak.
Theoretically,
We have the idea of
the
it. We
math
just
is there
can't.
for it to happen. You're saying
Okay, yes. Okay. Fact and point, okay? And they talk about warp drive. I know you think I'm going off the deep end, but warp drive, we've already established that we cannot travel faster than light. By the time we reach light speed, space dilates in weird ways around us. You just cannot proceed past it. It's the galactic.
I don't think the physical body is capable of handling.
Correct. I'll
Most
drink to
likely.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't sped that fast, but I'm going to go with that anyway. But here's what we also know: space can go faster than light.
That is true.
Space does not have to adhere to the speed limit. So if you warp space, where you compress it in front of you and expand it behind you, you will travel faster than light. You, not you, and you'll experience no time dilation because you are in a bubble that you do not.
It's like
experience any of
basically
this
what
shit,
he's
okay?
talking about is basically like going through a wormhole.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Theoretically.
Okay. But let me finish here. So they've established that mathematically that'll work. This all still fits in with relativity. Okay. But the thing is, to build a toroid device that will warp space to do that, you need the mass of something like the sun or more in that aircraft. So now you're flying around with a singularity. Well, excuse me, I've never done this on the podcast, but well, now you're screwed, okay? You can't fly around with a black hole, okay?
No.
So it is unobtainium for us. but it exists mathematically. But going to Challenger Deep was unobtainium for us until we developed the technology. Challenger Deep is deeper than Everest is high, and you've got, God,
Crazy.
at least 10,000 feet per square inch of pressure on you. Every 33 feet you go down in the ocean, you're adding another atmospheric pressure, which is 14.8 pounds per square inch on your body right now. If you didn't have that, you'd kind of expand and you'd be like a vacuum made suck.
You would get squished.
I'm getting off topic. I'm going to give it back to you guys. Thanks for the floor.
I got a concept for y'all to think about too.
Okay.
Is maybe, I know we're probably about to end this, but maybe these things that we're being told are aliens. What if they're just us in a different evolution state? Maybe on the concept of basically beings that live in the water. Because we do not know much about our own oceans.
Indeed.
Comparably to what we think we know about space. We know more about the thing we can't even access than the thing that we can.
Well, the thing, I mean, I recently saw somewhere about NASA contractors starting to search out the waters, the depth, and you know what's in the waters, and all of a sudden they stopped that project and they went back to studying space.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they originally were. NASA was originally founded on the idea of water exploration. Getting into that, and then they found that they would make more money and more headway going into space.
Yeah.
But
And then they're saying that the landing on the moon never really happened.
No.
Didn't exist.
Buzz Aldrin will tell you that. He literally tells everybody that every time.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong won't, or it's not Armstrong, right?
One
Is
of the
it
guys.
Neil Armstrong, or is it?
I just saw it last night. Well, one of the
can't
guys, they
remember.
were trying to admit on the Bible that she didn't go to the moon. Admit
Yeah,
it,
he would- he
and the guy
wouldn't
finally
end
popped
it.
him. He just popped him.
Yeah, he won't. He's religious apparently,
Yeah.
but he will not put his hand on the Bible and admit to it.
Guys, an amateur telescope that you can buy today. You can look at the moon, see the footprints, see the tire tracks, see the debris field and the undercarriage of the landing module. You can see where other countries have landed there. This isn't conspiratorial. This is you buy. I'm talking about $600 will get you into the telescope where you can verify and validate what I'm telling you right now.
And for me, it's not either here or there. If we went great, we didn't. I mean, it really doesn't make a
I
difference.
just don't think that we
It's
went
one of
when
those
they
things
said we
that
did.
it's like, it really doesn't affect us if we went or didn't go. I mean, I really don't care. It's cool that we went over there, but now they're saying we did.
Yeah, but in
again, I really
1969,
don't
we
care.
definitely didn't.
I was
Well,
proud
I
of
don't know.
us.
Yeah, and
I
that's,
really was. I
you're-
watched it when
more
it
those days
happened.
as you know what I'm saying? I mean, I saw when the launch went up and exploded, you know, and the teacher and all that. We watched that live. Matter of fact, I was in the 7th grade at the time, you know. So that's tangible for me because I lived in Houston at the time. Oh no, I
Yeah,
didn't.
That is very
I
close
don't know
to
where I lived.
home.
But you know, that's
I was in grade school in 1969, and we watched them land, and
see, so
that
it's-
was one
it's
time
more.
we win. Exploration and I don't think we should.
Did you say
stop,
you
I
watched
guess.
them land? Like you watched a video of them landing on the moon?
No, I watched it live on television.
That's what I'm saying. You
back
watched
then, they
it,
used to
though. Is
show
that what
all
you're
that
saying?
stuff. Back
Yes, I'm saying I watched it. Hell, everybody did.
So I got something.
I'm that freaking old.
No, you're good. No, I'm
that's
not.
good.
I'm not
Any
trying to say
launches were
that.
like show
I know,
launching
I know,
launches, you know what I'm saying?
I know, but they never existed.
I disagree. I just
They
I've
never
already
existed.
Told you,
Dude,
I can see it.
nobody in NASA will. Everybody in NASA will tell you we didn't record that.
Everybody
There was
is
never a
a
real
strong word.
recording.
Well, here it goes.
They even said, even Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon, said, no, we never went to the moon.
NASA,
No. How are you getting camera footage of something like that far live? For one, we didn't even have the technology to really communicate on that
But
level.
here goes the NASA government again. I mean,
can see
they
the
just
flag
admitted
laying
that there's
down.
aliens. So
That is
anything
true.
that they said has
We're
absolutely
getting
no credit.
way off topic.
I know,
really
but
That's all I
again,
gotta
there's
say.
you're going to have to. I'm going to leave you with one challenge. All right.
All right.
Hell, this might change you. on the mission to the moon where we landed, we put a reflector on the moon so that we could precisely, every orbit, all the time with laser, reflection timing.
Yeah.
We know precisely how far the moon is from us at any given second. We can, perfectly plot the orbit. We can see what kind of precesses is going on. We can see what whether it's drifting further out or getting closer in. It was important. We left that. Also, when we blasted back off to go back up, that flag that we so carefully boasted about and all that shit, we knocked it down with the blast of the thing, and you can see that from here today, again, with a sub $1,000 telescope. Easy. So, I mean, that's just my eyes. I got to believe them, buddy.
Again, for me, I really don't care. It doesn't, to me, it's one of those things that doesn't affect yay or nay. It's true, it's great. If it's not, I mean, it does. I don't care.
I keep the faith. There's room for this belief and this exploration and this wonder in my God and in my religion. There's room for this, for me.
Well,
but there's
this got awkwardly silent.
But there's a thing on aliens. Okay, for me, I don't believe in them. Apparently, you don't either. Frank's he's leaning toward it.
I don't believe in the concept of what is explained as aliens.
Yes. And as far as the government saying anything, I'm sorry. I just don't trust any of the reports they give out. So it's just like, and so it's intelligent with this guy's disposition. I really don't care. I mean,
I've never, like I said,
it's like,
I've never once seen, even in my entire lifetime, where the government saying something or hiding something has ever been truthful. And I've never seen something that really, really, really was out to benefit the human society in some sort of way.
And I'll say,
never been that time.
I'll say these 2 points, and somebody made it the other day, and I kind of liked it. Number one, up to Frank, I don't know if you kind of said or not, but it said USA is actually the only place that's confessed that UFOs have landed. Only America. No other country has had that experience.
That's not true.
So this is what I heard. Okay, number 2.
That's not true at all. Okay. Russia came out and said it. China said it.
That's what I heard. Okay.
North Korea.
It's only now coming
out.
That's what I'm saying. It's only now getting exposed.
Okay, so that's number 1.
It's only been brought to light now, I guess, is what it is.
That's what I heard, number 1. So, like I said, I'm not even to the subject at all, so I don't really take the time to study anything. It's just things that I've heard. Number 2, again, take cameras, everything, videos. It's just like they're everywhere now. There's got to be some
how do you not get caught?
Footage of something by now.
Have you ever watched any of those UFO
and there's
shows?
An absence of that.
Phone up and you catch
There's
something.
an absence of that, isn't there?
Yeah,
and that's disturbing. And I still recognize that. I mean, you'd think there'd be some okay, this guy just walks up and he's taking, he sees the vacancy sign on the space cab sitting there, right? And he gets this great footage. Where's this? Now I've seen footage that I know from a system that I worked with in the development, so I recognize that firsthand. That's the only reason why I'm way on board with that footage that they shared with Congress.
Yeah. So that's what's like, okay.
But other than that, where's all that? I'm with you on that. I got to say, buddy, man, where is all that?
Well, you got to think of one thing. Yes, it exists. It does exist out there. You just not looking, and everybody's disproving it and ignoring it.
Used to. I don't think that's going to carry the day.
Oh no, everybody! This stuff's going to get
you ain't
taken off.
You ain't letting that horse back in the barn.
We'll go with this one. To be continued. My name is Miguel Perez.
My name's Kelton.
And have a good one.
All right, this podcast. Good night, folks. We'll leave you with that.
I thought you were going to say something. Well, we appreciate y'all watching. Thank y'all for checking us out. I hope that this episode, I know it's a little bit longer than what we usually do, but I hope y'all like this. And if y'all got any comments or questions or ideas, man, hit that inbox, hit that comic section, and talk to us. Tell us what you think.
Thank you. Subscribe. Have a good one.
Thank y'all.